The moral of the story, I guess, is use protection. Everybody, hope you guys are doing good out there. Had one today for you, contracted, almost got by the radar, but I saw it on a list. I'll put the links down below. One of the guys that I know on Facebook runs this pretty cool group. He's always turning me on to movies, so I'll give a link to his group down below. But Contracted 2013, directed by Eric England, written by Eric England. He's the guy, I guess, also that did Madison County, which I haven't seen. I'll probably go back and watch that now. And the film stars Nahara Townsend, and basically the whole movie just revolves around her. Caroline Williams plays her mom, so it's kind of nice for the horror fans. But the story is, she's a young girl, probably a Reformed Party girl from what they allude. She winds up hooking up with this guy at this party, and the rest of the movie is her, day one, day two, day three. What happens to her? And we're trying to find out what she's contracted, and it's ravaging her body. And it's basically, it falls into the body horror category. The major problem with this movie is the low budget. It had a great idea, but let me get to what I liked and what I didn't like. I don't want to go into so many spoilers because it is basically her catching disease, and it literally counts down 1, 2, 3, 4, down the days to see what happens to her. But the parts I liked about it was definitely Nahara Townsend in the lead. A lot of this movie's inconsistent. Her acting is a little bit too, but for some reason she has this charisma, and I really did feel sorry for her. Getting sick and stuff like that. And all she wanted to do was, have a good time and have fun. And, she's young, she's lost. And I don't know, I felt bad for her suffering from the disease. And one thing I should say is microbiology, diseases, viruses, that kind of bugs me a lot more than like the Jason killers and stuff. So that's another good thing I'll say for this movie. At parts, my neck was tightening up when I was watching, and I had to, go in the bathroom and get a drink or something. It was disturbing at the beginning of the film when she first starts getting sick, because I felt sorry for her. And like I said, I'm a sucker for body horror, microbiology stuff. The virus, this shit could actually happen, sort of. So besides the good idea, you feeling sorry for the main actress, which are two great things, there is a ton of problems. And mostly I think this film suffers from a low budget. It's kind of like one of those chiller movies, and I know I'm always capping on chiller. This is like one of the really good chiller movies. I don't know if it's going to come on chiller because they didn't have any TNA and they had minimal drug use. So I don't know. It's probably an easy cut to put on chiller. If it goes on there, I'm glad for chiller because it's one of their better movies. But this movie suffers from just a low budget. And my perfect example is when the girl sees the doctor, and it's almost like comedic because he's examining her, the doctor, and he's like, "Oh, your heart rate's low. Abnormally low," which, is a complete red flag. And then, he's like, "Oh, you have some chafing and dead skin." And then he offers her like topical ointment. And then later on you find out, I guess he did blood tests, but he's a crappy doctor. They should have paid for some sort of technical advisement on the doctor. At one point he's touching her, her eyes all bloodshot. She's got shit growing her lip, and he's touching her bare skin to her hands, which I've seen doctors do in real life, but you would think if it was something they weren't familiar with. Another part that bugged the hell out of me is there's a part where she kills a character and she's strangling the person, and you can clearly see on the close-up that she's not squeezing the person's hands at all. She just has them like this around the little inconsistencies. There was a couple of good scenes. One of the subplots I liked with the girl, she like raising lilies, I believe. That was a cool subplot, which I would have liked to seen explored more. There's a lot of stuff I would have liked to have seen explored more, and that's another big gripe I have this movie. The opening scene, I don't want to root for it. It's a creepy opening scene, but we never find out more about the guy that gave her the virus. You find out minimal stuff about him. We find out minimal stuff about the virus. And then the movie kind of abruptly ends, which fits with the context of the movie, but it's just, I wish they would have either played into the flower subplot a little more, or the, the rapist subplot a little more. There's a couple little different angles they could have took, but overall it's an entertaining movie, but it just suffers from inconsistency across the board. Some scenes are good, some scenes are bad. It's everything's shot in like this restaurant, a house, and the opening scene where it's supposed to be a morgue, you can see the for lease sign in front of the building. And as far as the sickness stuff, the disease, the horror part of it, it bugged me, but I'm sure a lot of you guys that watch my channel, it's not even going to make you blink an eye because it's not much. It's more of the thought of it than the visual, which always affects me more. So overall, I'm going to give the film a 3 out of 5. I was going to give it 2 out of 5, but 3 because I think it has a rewatch value a little bit, because it is kind of has its built-in comedy, because the bad parts are kind of like the built-in comedy. There's like a drug dealer guy, and he's kind of funny. But yeah, it's charming on certain levels. That's what I would say. So I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Definitely something you want to see if you're into body horror. or if, you know, it's like one of those movies, if you rent it at the video store, that's why I give it a 3. You'd probably be happy that you watched it. I'm rambling now, so let me know if you've seen Contracted down below, and give me your comments. All right, guys, see you soon with probably my top 10 list. I'm gonna do one this year. All right, guys, bye.